Most people think driving an automatic car is foolproof. You just put it in D for drive and go, right? But here's the thing. While automatics are easier to operate than manuals, they're not immune to damage. And a lot of drivers, even experienced ones, make small mistakes that can quietly ruin their transmission, shorten the car's lifespan, or even put them in danger. So today, we're diving into 7 things you should never do in an automatic car. These aren't myths or internet rumors. These are real, proven mistakes that mechanics see every single day, and they cost drivers thousands in repairs. Let's start with one that seems harmless but can wreck your transmission over time. 1. Never shift to park before the car stops completely. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people do this without realizing. You're pulling into a parking spot, still rolling slightly, and you flick the gear into P. What's the harm? Here's the harm. When you shift into park, a small metal pin called the parking pail locks the transmission to prevent the wheels from moving. If the car is still in motion, even just a little, that pin can grind against the gears or even snap. And once that happens, your car might not stay parked at all. Mechanics say this is one of the most common causes of transmission damage in automatics. So always let the car come to a full stop before shifting into P. It takes 1 extra second, but it can save you thousands. 2. Don't coast in neutral. Some drivers think they're being clever by shifting into neutral while going downhill or approaching a red light. The idea is that it saves fuel. But modern cars don't work that way anymore. In fact, coasting in neutral can be dangerous. When your car is in neutral, you lose engine braking. That means the engine isn't helping slow the car down, and you're relying entirely on your brakes. On steep hills, that can overheat your brake pads and reduce stopping power. Plus, in an emergency, you won't be able to accelerate quickly if you need to avoid something. You'd have to shift back into drive first, and that delay could cost you. Fuel injection systems in modern cars are smart enough to reduce fuel flow when coasting in gear, so there's no real benefit to using neutral. It's outdated advice, and potentially risky. 3. Never launch your car like it's a race car. You've probably seen it in movies or TikTok clips. Someone revs the engine in neutral, then slams it into drive to launch forward. It looks cool, but it's brutal on your transmission. Here's why. When you rev in neutral, the engine builds up RPMs, but the transmission isn't engaged. The moment you shift into drive, all that power hits the transmission in one violent jolt. That sudden force can damage the clutch packs, torque converter, and internal gears. Automatic transmissions are designed for smooth transitions, not drag race launches. If you want quick acceleration, use the gas pedal properly in drive. Don't try to cheat the system. It's not built for that. 4. Don't rest your foot on the brake pedal. This one's subtle, but it matters. Some drivers keep their foot lightly on the brake pedal while driving, especially in traffic. It feels like you're just being cautious, but it can cause problems. First, it keeps the brake lights on constantly, which can confuse drivers behind you. More importantly, it creates unnecessary wear on your brake pads and rotors. Even a small amount of pressure can cause friction, and over time, that adds up. In automatic cars, you don't need to hover over the brake. Just keep your foot ready, but off the pedal unless you're actually stopping. Your brakes and your wallet will thank you. 5. Never ignore transmission fluid. Most people know to check their engine oil, but transmission fluid? It's often forgotten, and that's a big mistake. Transmission fluid keeps the gears shifting smoothly and prevents overheating. If it gets low or dirty, your car might start jerking, slipping between gears, or making strange noises. Left unchecked, it can lead to complete transmission failure. Unlike engine oil, transmission fluid doesn't need changing as often, but it still needs checking. Most automatics have a dipstick for it, and your owner's manual will tell you the right intervals. If the fluid looks dark or smells burnt, it's time for a change. Think of transmission fluid like blood for your gearbox. You wouldn't ignore your own health. Don't ignore your car's. 6. Don't shift into reverse while moving forward. This one's a classic mistake, especially for new drivers. You're trying to make a quick maneuver. Maybe you overshot a parking spot, and you shift into reverse while the car's still rolling forward. Bad idea. Automatic transmissions aren't designed to switch directions while moving. Doing this can cause a harsh jolt, damage the gear synchronizers, and wear out the transmission prematurely. In some cases, it can even stall the engine. Always come to a complete stop before switching between drive and reverse. It's not just about protecting the car, it's about staying safe. Sudden gear changes can make the car behave unpredictably, especially on slippery surfaces. 7. Don't use park instead of the handbrake on hills. Here's a mistake that feels harmless but can cause serious damage. You park on a slope, shift into P, and walk away. No handbrake. What could go wrong? A lot, actually. When you rely only on park to hold the car, all the weight of the vehicle rests on that tiny parking pal we mentioned earlier. On a steep hill, that pressure can bend or break it, and if it fails, your car could roll away. The handbrake, or electronic parking brake in newer cars, is designed to hold the car's weight securely. Always engage it before shifting into P on a hill. That way, the transmission isn't under stress, and your car stays safely in place. It's a simple habit that can prevent a costly accident. Driving an automatic car is supposed to be easy, and it is, as long as you treat it right. These 7 mistakes might seem small, but they add up. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they're doing them. Here's the truth most drivers overlook. Just because a car is automatic doesn't mean it's self-protecting. The transmission may shift gears for you, but it doesn't shield you from poor habits. In fact, automatics are often more vulnerable to wear because drivers assume they're easy and forget that every system still relies on mechanical precision. Think of your automatic transmission like a silent partner. It's doing the work behind the scenes, adapting to your inputs, and keeping the drive smooth. But when you treat it carelessly, it doesn't complain. It just quietly breaks down. And that's the danger. The damage is often invisible until it's expensive. Transmission repairs are some of the most expensive fixes in any car. But the good news is, they're also some of the most avoidable. By changing a few habits, you can keep your car running smoothly for years and avoid the stress of breakdowns and surprise bills. So next time you get behind the wheel, remember, it's not just about getting from A to B, it's about how you treat the machine that gets you there. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who drives an automatic. You might just save them a trip to the mechanic. And if you want more real-world car advice that's easy to understand and actually useful, hit that subscribe button. We've got more coming, because driving smart isn't just about skill, it's about knowledge.